Hi, this is the third video in the series of IntelliPayroll desktop software. In this video, I will be showing you how to calculate salary of an employee. I assume that you have already seen the master setup of the employee and the company. Now, I will show you how to set the formula for each head. In the masters, we had seen that for an employee, we have defined some allowances. Now these allowance values can be defined for each employee for each head like this, or if you have some standard formula which depends on the gross, basic or CTC can be defined in the formula. So for example, here in this case, I haven't defined medical allowance or special allowance, which will be defining as a formula in the earning deduction heads. So under earning deduction head, I select a appropriate group. So there are few groups which are already created by the system, plus there are some groups which you can create. So for example, PF, HRA, ESIC, PT, these are the standard groups which are already created by the software. You can then create your own groups to segregate each head. Under miscellaneous, I will create one head which is called as special allowance. So I create a head which is earning. I name it as special allowance. It is applicable to both male and female. It is applicable for all month. If you want to make it applicable for single month, then you can select a month. Otherwise, if you want to make it applicable for all month except 1 month, then you can select a month here. We will set the head as formula. So here I create a formula. Now if my special allowance is 10% of CTC, then I can have a simple formula as CT into 10 divided by 100. And if this special allowance is dependent on the payable days, then into payable days divided by total days of month. So this is the formula which says that special allowance is 10% of the CTC of that employee, and it will be calculated with respect to the payable days of that month. Now if you are wondering what this CT is all about, then the CT is the abbreviation for CTC. Similarly, there are multiple abbreviations in the software which you can use in the formula. Plus, whenever you define an allowance head, you can define your own name for that head. So say for example, for national holiday we have created NH. For late hours we have created LH. So these are some standard abbreviations which are already defined by the software, and these are the abbreviations which are user defined. The only thing you need to remember while defining the abbreviation is it should be unique. Now we define the minimum value and maximum value of the head. So if there is no maximum value, we can keep the maximum value as 99999. We give name of this formula as special allowance. You can see that we have already defined one allowance for OT calculation. So this is the standard formula for OT calculation. OH is the OT hours of that employee in that month. PS plus DA. PS stands for pay scale or basic. So basic plus DA divided by 26 divided by 8. So this is for 1 hour into the OT hours put in by the employee and twice the amount. So this is the standard formula for OT calculation. Similarly, you can have any formula for all the heads. So if your head is dependent on basic, so we have pay scale, that is basic, into say 20% into payable days divided by total days of month. So this formula says me 20% of basic will be given to the employee with respect to his payable days. So this way you can have multiple formula in the system. We have one more feature called conditional allowance. For example, if you want to give allowance depending on some conditions, then you can use conditional formula. I will take a case here. Say for example, I want to give attendance bonus to employees who are present throughout the month. So if my unpaid leaves is equal to 0, I need to give attendance bonus as 500 rupees. So if the value of unpaid leave is equal to the value of 0, then the result will be value of 500. Or if I want to make the value as percentage of my basic. So if say for example I want to give 1% of basic as my attendance allowance. So if the value of UL is equal to 0, that is unpaid leave is 0, then the result will be 0.01, that is 1% of pay scale. If the value is equal to 1, then I need to give them just 100 rupees. So else if the value of unpaid leave is 1, then the result will be 100. So this way I can have multiple conditions for each head. So this is very handy if you want to calculate attendance bonus which depends on some conditions, or if you want to give some sales incentive or sales bonus to your sales team depending on the targets they have achieved. So you can create a formula, create a head called target. Every month you upload the target of the employees, and you can say that if target is say 100, then give some percentage of CTC as his sales incentive, and you can have this conditional formula. Now once we create formula, we can define salary structure. So every class of the employee is mapped to a salary structure. I create a salary structure called sales. Okay, if I want to create salary structure which are applicable to sales people, then I will create a salary structure called sales. Okay, description as sales people. Okay. Then I select the heads which are applicable to sales people. So only those formula will be applied to sales people which are selected here. So if sales people are having ESIC, PT, PF, then I will select all the heads, statutory heads. Okay, and I save. So all people who belong to class say sales, the sales salary structure would be applicable. So if any new employee joins in, you just need to select appropriate class. You did not define all the heads for each and every employee. Okay. Now we import attendance. So I am selecting month as July 2016, and I am selecting only one branch, say Bangalore. I export the attendance file. Once we export the attendance file, it will be created on the path specified, and once it is created, I can update the attendance. I will say 20 days, 25 days, 26 days. Okay, weekly of 4. Okay, if there are 3 leave types defined, CL, PL, SL, then I can define the leaves also. 1 CL taken. If balance is there, it will direct the leaves. Otherwise, it will say that you have selected a leave, but the balance is short. So it will not import the attendance into the system. You will have to recheck it and again import it. Now you can see the total paid leave was mentioned incorrectly because I had mentioned a 1 CL. So my total paid leave should be 1. So I recorrect it So now we have imported the attendance into the system. It is saying me the attendance is already existing in the system. So I cannot import attendance because the attendance is already there. So I change the month. I will say the month is, say, August. And I again import. Okay, the attendance is already saved for this month too. I will change the month again, or maybe I change the year. Now you can see the attendance is inputted successfully. So if you want to import attendance, you can do so through Excel file, or individually also you can import attendance by going to attendance, prepare employee monthly sheet. So here you can select one employee, you can select the month, and you can change the attendance here. Okay, this is manually changing the attendance of an employee. I have shown you how to import attendance through the Excel file. Now I calculate salary for the employee of branch Bangalore of month December 2017. I need to select an employee. I will set employee. So this is the salary of the employee for the month December 2017. I save the salary. I need to confirm that is everything okay with the salary, because I cannot modify the salary once it is saved. Of course, you can generate trial audit any number of time, and you can cross check the salary and then move ahead to save the salary. In this case, I am saving salary of only one employee. You need to check the bank account details of the employees before saving the salary. Now once the salary is saved, I can generate the payslip. The payslip will be generated in Crystal report, so it will take some time to load first time, and then it will load very fast. The payslip can also be modified. Say if you want to don't show some heads in the payslip, you can deselect those heads in the company master, so those heads will not be shown. You can also hide attendance. You can also hide the paymaster gross. You can also hide the cumulative figures. So we can export this salary slip in PDF format and mail to the employees. The software can automatically mail salary slips to all the employees. You can also export it as a PDF format and save it on your system. Print salaries of all the employees. If you want to select a range of month and select an employee, say for example I want to print salary of an employee for the entire year, then I can do so from here. I just need to select the month from where I need to start the attendance printing. I select the employee, then I say print. So it will print salary slips of Mr. Krishna from January 16 to December 16. Similarly, you can email and export the salary slips. We can also generate trial audit for employees. So I select branch as Bangalore, okay, and I generate trial audit. I will select December, and then it will generate salary slips of all the employees for December 17. Once the system generates trial audit,